Welcome back to the Sound for More channel. Today I have the pleasure to introduce you to the effect bundle from discoDSP. Before I continue, I would like to remind my viewers to subscribe as it helps with growing the channel. Thank you very much. Additionally, I would like to give a big thank you to discoDSP for giving me the opportunity to show you these fantastic effect bundles, which at the time of recording is on version 2.2. So it has been recently updated with a lot of new functionality, which of course I'm going to give you a demonstration in this video. So as you can see, the plugins that are available in the bundle are on the screen. So it's really quite good. We have EQ10 up here, which is a 10-band EQ plugin. Really great. It has a really high quality. Internally, it uses a 2 times oversampled audio engine, which is great. We go through the controls in a moment. Then we have a Schroer Reverb, which has been based on the algorithms developed by Manfred Schroer in 1960. So really great reverb. Then we have also Realme 3, which is great, is a multi-band compressor, okay, which of course will give you more design control to your sound. And then finally, we have also a scope visualizer, which is really great because it gives the ability to actually see the waveform. Normally you put that at the end of a chain, so you can quickly see what is happening on the signal. For the purposes of the tutorial, I have 2 tracks. The first track as Corona, as a synth, which I'm going to open it up now, which is a brilliant synth. I definitely recommend it, from discoDSP as well. And I have selected a program, but of course, you can select the programs that you prefer. So Corona is absolutely great. Now let's close all these plugins like so, and we're going to reopen them as we go through the video. Now let's set this first MIDI channel to auto. And here, as you can see, if I double click, I have a number of chords. I just created a chord progression with a rhythm, and that is what we are going to use. So it sounds like so. Okay, perfect. So at the moment I have soloed the first track, which is playing those MIDI chords using Corona. Now let's go through the plugins. So the first one, EQ10. So let's enable it here and let's bring up the interface. There it is. So it's really straightforward to use it. First of all, you have 2 filters. You can see the first filter here and the second one here. You can adjust the frequency, of course. So let's play that MIDI progression, and let's adjust this filter here. As you can hear, this is a low pass filter. You can also skip it here, pressing on dry. Let me show you. Pretty straightforward. And here at the beginning, we have a high pass filter with a dry option as well. So as you can see, very straightforward, useful to have a high pass filter and also a low pass filter, because you can use those to eliminate part of the sounds that you might not want. Then here you have the different bands which you can utilize. So you can adjust the gain here in the middle. So you can go up to +8 decibel or -8 decibel. Double click to reset it at default. Then on the outer part of the control, and you see this dot here, you can click and move it, and with the mouse you can change the frequency for that band. And then underneath, of course, you can adjust the Q factor, which is great. So let's play with them. Of course, I'm exaggerating a little bit with the Q factor. Normally you have it much lower than 1, so it gives you that more expanded curve, unless of course you want to have it quite high to make narrower the influence here, which you of course adjust through the gain here in decibel. So you can use all the different band controls to change the gain at different frequency and adjust the Q factor. So this is particularly great. I use a lot the low pass filter to remove some artifacts, for example, which are high in pitch, or you might want to use the high pass filter to remove some on the opposite side, and then I make some adjustment in the middle based on what I want to achieve. Remember, double click on to reset things where they were. So, and that is that EQ10 fabulous plugin. Next, we have Schroer. Let's enable it, and there it is, Schroer Reverb. You have 3 types of controls. The first one is a mix. You mix the, of course, reverb, and then you have decay in terms of length, and then, of course, you can pass through the effect. Okay, let's start with pass through, and then I remove it, and then we just play a little bit with the mix and decay. Okay, so double click to reset them. Great reverb. I'm going to show it to you a little bit more later on. So let's disable that, and now let's enable Me3. So there it is. So a nice multi-band compressor. You can see 4 different bands here. You can adjust the threshold for each band. You can see here. Then you can adjust the attack and release for each band in terms of how it responds to, for example, to compression. And you can establish duration, of course, for your compressor, and also the gain. Additionally, you can solo each band, which is really, really good. And then you can adjust the cross frequency between the different bands. So this one for between band 1 and 2, this one between band 2 and 3, and this other one here between band 3 and 4. So, and then you have a lock parameter. So it's quite nice, because if you have that disabled, you, for example, let's change the gain. You can see I'm changing the gain only for band 1. But if I enable it, as I change these, I change all the other gains for all the other bands, because locked is active. So it really depends on what you are trying to do. Okay, let's listen. Nice, only the lower band, or band 1. And now let's adjust a few things. More gain, of course. Then we can adjust the threshold as well. The ratio as well. Please note that when the two dials overlap as a frequency, you can see this one as a move here. It doesn't move any further because it will conflict with the first cross frequency between band 1 and band 2, right? So if I lower this one, then I can lower this one a little bit more, but it stops just above that, okay? And that is the free compressor, really great. And then finally, we have a scope. So a visualizer, which is really good. If you click on it, you can also add markers as well, which is useful in terms of measurement. Okay, now let's go to track number 2. We solo that and unsolo the first one. Let's click play. As you can hear, just a normal drum loop, but I just want to show you the controls again on a drum loop. Let's go for it, starting from the EQ. Quite nice. You can hear the accentuated gain here at this lower frequency, which is nice on that kick drum. Nice effect. Okay, and now let's add the Schroer reverb. Great, and then let's add the Frill-Me-Free, the compressor. Quite nice as you change the threshold, of course you change the level of compression, right? Solo. And of course we have the scope as well. Nice. It's nice to see it as you change the different bands you activate, or as you solo each of the different bands. See, it's minimal here in terms of amplitude. Okay, let's play the two tracks together. As you can see, I forgot here to add the EQ, but now it's active. On picking, you can see here some of the meters in Ableton Live were picking, but then it depends on how you set things up. So this is a great bundle because it gives you a set of tools which of course you can use to actually make your sound, your production more professional, whether you are a sound professionals, whether you are in a studio, whether you're doing it for a hobby. There are definitely tools that are really handy and you can use to enhance your production. I hope you enjoyed the demonstration and tutorial, and as always, see you next time. Bye.